Gaming Malta, home of gaming excellence. Let's get to some predictions. I don't really want to get scoreline predictions because, to be honest, for me, it's way too close to call. I would not.
Yeah.
I would not put the displeasure on you in terms of trying to, trying to come up with a series or scoreline victory. So just tell me what you're hoping to see. What are you hoping to get out of these two teams, and what can we expect going into this series?
Yeah, look, I can certainly expect alternate aTTaX coming out of the gate firing, really down to that individual skill and aim, especially Slacks in particular. I think he's going to have a really impactful series. He's looked very good over the last couple of days, seeing him on the AWP. So especially a map like Overpass on that CT side, it gives you a lot of freedom. You can make your way around the bathrooms area, fast picking towards connector, out towards long, aggressive around short over at the B bomb site. For an AWPer, Overpass is like a paradise kind of map. It allows you to get a very aggressive. It allows you to play very alone. So in particular for the alternate aTTaX side, I'm really keen to see where they're going to place that AWP and how he's going to be able to find some impact.
On the pistol round set to go live with Endpoint over on the CT start here. An appropriate start for alternate aTTaX's map pick. Let's see whether the Brits can do some damage on this particular one. The bites coming through with a double flash smoke for Scrunk. Slacks with a single flash smoke and a P250. Got the diffuse in for Mighty Max and a smoke out for him. So basic default pistols across the rest of the board here in Kevlar to back it all up. The alternate aTTaX go to the first round in the grand finals here of Malta Vibes 2. Thomas down towards connected to try and establish some sort of control. Alternate aTTaX got 3 players down here as well. Thomas could be on for a bloodbath if he's not careful. Crest CC on the shoulder bait. Shots not connecting. Stefan kicks things off. Surreal. One headshot found. Missing on the second player. And it will be a trade from Stefan. He doubles up all in all to a 3 versus 1.
And considering the fact we've just seen Endpoint play a best of 3, those were some very shaky pistol shots coming through. For Mighty Max, 1 versus 3, this is going to be a very difficult ask for him. The best he can do is maybe just see if he can wide swing, see if he can take a couple of players down. He does have a smoke and a kit, and he needs to try and find that first, but unfortunately it's not going to come through. So in the end, alternate aTTaX, it comes off the back of some very quick aggression out towards the connector position. And for Endpoint, again, some shaky pistol shots coming out from them.
Yeah, just missing all those bullets, like easy headshots to take, and they just weren't quite landing them. And that makes it very, very awkward to start things off here for Endpoint. It could have been a great CT start. And both teams are looking for those CT sides to get them into this one. I mean, the last time they played this, it was a CT basis for Endpoint. They've got them 9-6 on that half. The 9-6 for alternate aTTaX to return to an overtime. So this actually one was a 17-19 result when Endpoint played them last in the Mountain Dew League. But yeah, big chance for Endpoint to take another opponent's map pick away here in our playoffs. But for now, they're going to be put onto the back foot with a force buy.
And I'm actually surprised how many SMGs are actually coming out for the alternate aTTaX side. 3 lots of MAC 10s and being brought up on the T side. Certainly a map like Overpass, you'd like to try and get those Galils and those AKs up so you can take more of some long-range fights. And they've got to deal with the force buy coming out for the CTs. Mighty Max getting a little bit of information. He can call over some rotates from the A bomb site. I'm trying to slow this round down. Getting closer to a minute. Alternate aTTaX pretty much set on a B site execution by the looks of things. Okay, back up contour.
Scrunk will take control. Want to move into that mid position. Robin's going to hold off on the Deagles here. 30 seconds, and the aTTaX side are going to keep this very, very down to the wire here. Based on the AK, the Deagle standing. The Scout tries to find something. He burns alive, and Robin goes down to Slack. So the Eagles still back in for Thomas here. Can't deny the bomb plant, unfortunately. So a 5 versus 3, the retake to come through. Fall back as well for Endpoint. They've got to save that Kevlar.
Yeah, and look, they just realized that let's just get out of there. There's no real point in them hanging around, seeing if they can find any more damage. At least bring in those 3 weapons over into the following round. And for alternate aTTaX, it was very slow. It was very methodical. Some great entries come out to that A bomb site. And you've got to think, even with Endpoint going for the save, Jay, to bring those weapons into the next round, they didn't really do any damage to alternate attacks. So they can keep these SMGs in play, bring them into the following rounds, and really start to build up that bank in terms of economy.
2-0 start here for alternate aTTaX, and the buy-up should not be seen by the Endpoint side, so maybe a rebuy come through in the 4th round. But yeah, not the best of starts here from the CTs. Again, Endpoint just looking to get past the pistol and conversion buffer and look towards their main rifles. If they can take some more out of play right here, then alternate aTTaX may be forced to reinvest here. Mac-10's on 3 players. They should be able to clean up most of the frags on the CT count. With the Deagles, they can get the trigger fingers itching. Again, force the investment on some of the rifles here and make sure the money line looks relatively low for alternate aTTaX. That's a good start for Surreal.
That's not bad. They were able to pick up a Mac-10. It's not really going to help them a lot, but at least they get a 5-on-4. Thomas doing a hell of a lot of damage. It's actually Mighty Max to be able to turn it into a 5-on-3. Now, we saw in that last best of 3 how much difficulty we saw Endpoint dealing with the force buys and the ecos. It looks like it's now going the opposite way.
Right through on the Mac-10. It's Mirbit getting Mighty Max a smoke down once again. And the AK moving forward here to the bomb site, trying to catch off CT players that might be in water. Crucial Shadow is spotted, seeing a player over at the jungle position. And Stefan, who's barely connects those frags together, makes it a 3K all in all, leaving Thomas left alone standing. A Deagle back, trying to get that 3rd pick, that all-important one that could drop the AK. Sadly, not going to receive it, and he may consider to save the head Kevlar once again. Very valuable, that piece of kit. Refacing in from heaven, completely blinded off, though. Again, his best bet is probably to save from here.
Ooh. Still doing a little bit of damage. I mean, unfortunately, he doesn't take down Stefan. If they would have got away with 3 kills, they would have been pretty happy with that. I mean, even with 2, they can still be relatively happy, considering that they didn't really have too many investments. But they're looking at round number 4, Jay. This is the opportunity for Endpoint to get on the board, get something on the CT side, and it's got to come off the back of the AWP from Crucial. He is glass cannon, though, so we'll probably see him playing relatively passive, because if he gets aggressive, that aim bunch is going to hurt him.
Incendiary is down, Smoke's up to start things off so the teams can establish their T-con control. The AWP in for Slacks does not get the frag, unable to open things up on the T-side start. The AWP Crucial is protected from his position. He's out on the long control. Glass cannon for the CT side, so it could lead to some issues if the Mac-10 start to rush in, but for now, alternate aTTaX playing out their defaults, trying to get the damage and kills. Nade stacking from Thomas could prove to be his demise. Oh, that's not a great start for the CT side.
And, well, this B bomb site hold's going to have a really difficult time now. They've already lost an individual. So much utility coming in for the T side. And already the CT's giving away their position. Surreal needs a big hold. He only finds one. Mighty Max is the last one remaining. Drops that bomb, but it's still an advantage for the T side. But Crucial answers back in the 2-on-2.
Couldn't flick to the AWP Slacks, though. They do get the even man advantage for the retake. Be careful how he places with his AWP again. Aim, punch, and headshots are aplenty for the T-side camp. Robin with his M4. The AWP facing away at the right time. Robin can take him down. Looking for Scrunk, last man standing, and a spray in the back as he challenges the AWP and doesn't win even that fight. Endpoint with a pretty decent trade game again. Following suit off the back of that last series. Getting there first on the CT retake.
And it's actually the Endpoint hold for enough time for the 2 defenders of Surreal and Mighty Max that the rotates can come in pretty quickly from both Robin and the AWP of Crucial. These nade stacks, something that Endpoint are certainly going to be keeping an eye on is the fact of where are they positioning themselves before the execution comes through, because especially at this B bomb side, Jay, there's a lot of nade stack that T's can do around that boost position out towards Graffiti and that position right there that we saw towards the monster wall. A good start coming up in the first gun round from Endpoint, but they need to find the follow-up.
AWP scoped in, looking for first. He will not be able to find it. And 2 players out here will just continue to press up. Very careful and calculated from alternate aTTaX on the defaults here. The flashes and smokes go out. The Molotov's in towards Toxic, but they do not act off the back of the execution.
Oh, here's the nade stack again. This could do even more damage. Look at the positioning coming out for the CT side. This should be an easy another kill.
Oh,
the damage. This time around, at least it's not a kill, but you've got to think for Endpoint, how many times do they keep going to play that position?
Well, now they shouldn't realize that they don't have to keep going there so that they can keep control. Dot leaving the nades to do the early damage here for the T side. 45 seconds, they haven't found a frag this time. They don't know how much they've done to Thomas, and either way, that's a UMP that's tagged low. The rifles stay on the hundreds or thereabouts levels of HP. Martin for Surreal as Incendiaries go back and forth here. Smokes down. Alternate attacks considering rotating right here. It's a very, very late call to make this happen. A smoke down from Scrunk will give Crucial the toes he needs now. Into the mid position, going to try up around, find his first pick, and indeed he lands it on Cressy. Time is pressed here for alternate attacks, and Crucial not missing his shots, but he does miss that one on the third kill. Incendiary to stall for time, 10 seconds, and he no-scopes the bomb partner, gets near it for a quadra. Scrunk will get 2, but he's out of the round. Robin there to close it down. The AWP doing so much to mid.
And honestly, that's just alternate attacks overthinking things, I say there, Jay. I mean, the fact is, why are they rotating with such little time left on the clock when they don't really have any presence? They had a single lurk out towards long, and that's all they had for the T side. And for Endpoint, well, all it comes down to is Crucial having a fantastic hold around that bathroom's position, allowing the rotators to come up. And for the Germans, I'm not sure if that's pressure of the grand final, but they should have just committed to that B-bomb site.
They had the default set up, the damage done, everything over to the B bomb site, and last second they decided, seemingly for no reason, to go back towards A. And now the B aggression gets even better for Mighty Max, swinging in, getting that first frag. They should know he's there towards the T ramp. They won't be able to put the nades out this time. There is no nades on the T side, neither is there any short control. We're seeing Feet putting smokes down for Surreal, going to try to keep them at bay. She knows there's a bit of a stack coming forward. We'll just stop any rushes here from alternate attacks.
A great utility coming out from Endpoint so far. We've seen a lot of well-timed re-smokes out towards Monster, and what that does is it kind of denies the time and the presence for alternate attacks to continue the execution to the B bomb side. The worst thing you ever want to do is go for an execution setup and get re-smokes, especially when the time's low on the clock, and Endpoint have done a really great job of that in these last few rounds, even forcing the Ts to make a commitment out towards long.
3 seconds, and there's Crucial with the perfect peak at the perfect time, the perfect shot against Stefan. Robin's going to support towards mid as they leg up Cressy. The USP takes him down, and Scrunk there again to get the trades. The Deagle out to do 2 more players worth of damage, but no, Thomas denies with a $600 kill, a rifle recovered, and pistols upgraded to keep the main rifles in check here for the CT camp. The AWPs and AKs will get brought down by alternate attacks.
The 3-3, here we go. And I'd like to see something a little bit more aggressive coming out from alternate attacks. So far on this T side, it's been very slow and it's been very methodical. And you've got to think, even for Slacks, we haven't really seen that AWP in his hands all too often. Crucial's been hitting some nice shots over on the CT side. But for alternate attacks, maybe seeing if they can get there up close and personal. But Crucial's actually going to try and take the fight out through connector.
Go Tint ready for the first player to make his way down this ladder, but unable to see the man. He falls back out and they concede the mid control. And to their credit for Endpoint, this setup has worked pretty well so far, so map control is not necessary here for the CTs. AWP Slacks will try challenge from this long control, and again against Crucial with his or maybe boosted up to the flower pot position. Flashbangs go over to blind him off. He takes his shot. Slack sees him, but he can't connect a kill of his own right here.
And that will give a little bit of information, at least at some point, that he had to get boosted up. So there must be 2 players around that long area. But you're right. I mean, in terms of map control, we haven't really seen the CTs aggressing too often. It's been very deep and very passive into the bomb sites. They have actually rotated a 3rd player up to A, so for alternate attacks, they don't really have any presence to rotate to the B bomb site. They don't have a single lurk out through connector or towards short or monster. So this is certainly looking like it has to be an A play for the T side.
Nades on, flashes over into the mid position. Scrunk will keep his AK in alongside Cressy, and Robin here with the FAMAS out. Flashed in, the blind Scrunk will fall. The M4 can't follow suit on the AK in the backlines. Cressy gets 2, and Crucial is left alone here to defend the bomb site. He needs backup, he needs support. They're coming in from long, flashes over. Smoke actually instead coming through against the dumpster position. Cressy gets another headshot for a 3K. The AWP not placing its crosshair right near, but keeping its backline held. Surreal takes down 2 Gwigs frags. 10 seconds left. Bomb plant denied for the moment. They're running out of time. M4 swings in from Mighty Max, and Surreal follows up with a 3K of his own. Good efforts from Cressy on the entries, but it just wasn't enough.
Oh, Cressy did so much work. That's a 4-on-2 advantage for alternate attacks, and unfortunately, even with them trying to defend that bomb from going down, Surreal does such a great job of denying the plan and allowing that clutch to come through. What a retake out from Endpoint. And you've got to think for alternate attacks, this is the opportunity to change things up. They've been struggling to find the opening kills. Yes, in that last round, we saw Cressy finding some great openings, but outside of that, they're struggling for the opener. And this is quick out from Connector, a change of pace.
2 T's out, smokes in, AWP's up, M4 spray I should say from Robin. Takes out 2, overwhelmed a little bit on the AWP, but Robin gets himself 4 kills. USP out against Scrunk. Scrunk again, the last man standing with the pistols, getting the trades but not getting the rounds. So 5 on the board for Endpoint. A very good defensive held out here towards the A bomb site in general. Their positions have just been fantastic, you know.
They've got some really great protocols at the moment. You see the rush coming up through Connector to try and get the T's into some fast bathrooms and banana control, but you see the way that they crossfire. Yes, Crucial doesn't hit all of the shots, but the way that he's backing up Robin with that M4. Okay, normally see this getting mollied. Actually going to get smoked. Oh, okay. Well, that quite didn't land, Thomas. I was going to say, I haven't seen that smoke before, and that's the reason why I haven't seen it, Jay.
Because it sucks.
Oh, he'll be gutted. Well, he actually won't know that that didn't land, but someone needs to point that out to him.
Alternate attacks right now, taking precedence in the mid position. Again, it's Robin there to take contact, take a spray. Crucial taking damage. Incendiary should force Scrunk out. No, Robin peeks in regardless, and the Incendiary didn't extend all the way around. 5 on 4. Again, alternate attacks have found the decent kills on Skrunk's part. Slacks gets a secondary kill with the AWP. Crucial again left alone. CT's on positions back here. Mighty Max gets Stefan, but him and Surreal fall, so it's all left to Crucial. Good flicks coming forward with a good frag, but needs to find 3 more, and the T's can put the bomb back over into the rotation here. It's on the back of Scrunk. He can go forward from mid, but they push it into the bomb site. Crucial gets the kill. Orb sees him smoke up. They're going to partner the miss. Oh, that smoke! Crucial lands it, and Slacks 1 versus 1. Will the Dutchman clutch it for Endpoint? He's going to reposition. Slacks reads that position. He looks onto the bank area in the gap and a smoke. Seen, scope, shot, kill. Crucial, you madman. Endpoint stay in the lead.
Oh my goodness. That's insane. That is honestly one of the best AWP clutches I've seen this year. That is unbelievable. The way he repositioned himself. The shot even through the smoke to deny the bomb from going down. And Crucial at just 22 points of health. How was that information not pulled through? Slacks could have just got him with a pistol. Oh my goodness. That's insane. What a clutch, man. Can you imagine the comms from Endpoint? Imagine the comms. They'd be absolutely pumped. They'll be screaming.
Oh yeah, it's a UK delicacy, I feel like, to scream when you win a round like that. A massive clutch, and they are going to be hearts are pounding, but most certainly in the driver's seat here. A tactical pause coming out from alternate attacks because they realized that was unacceptable. They knew where the AWP was. They didn't have to put the bomb in first. They could have rotated back towards the B bomb site. They had options, but they took the wrong options every single time as soon as they found that 1v4.
And you mentioned it. I think when it was a 1 versus 3, they can rotate the bomb to B. They absolutely could have, but they just kept trying to fight on from A, fight that AWP. And well, Endpoint, they're now up 6 rounds in a row, up 6-3. Great damage onto Slacks to start this round off. And you've got to think, for a grand final, Endpoint have come out of the gate absolutely firing.
He's going to get information out to the T side. Skrunk's going to be knowing that much. Can he potentially swing and get a kill? He's been pretty consistent with it. Well, Robin's going to try to deny that with a swing around the corner of the M4. Does go down. Oh, and aTTaX here on this half-by. Start things off on the right foot. M4. The smoke will keep him suppressed from getting that second kill now. And again, aTTaX opening things up with the frag numbers, but unable to get to the bomb site, unable to secure the plant.
They need to make sure they're getting a move on here. Great flashes to try and pull the CTs back. Thomas is doing work at the moment with a single kill. Surreal now chiming into the action. And this looks to be a pretty good cleanup coming out from Endpoint into the 2 versus 2. Do they check this position?
Oh,
they
no.
don't. And Mighty Max is in a 1-on-2.
Can he pull out the crucial clutch? Bomb is planted out towards default here. He's got a Deagle and an M4 to work against him, and the M4's pushing in the back lines. Will it extend so far as to go to the dumpster position? It doesn't look like it will. Mighty Max moving in against Mirbit. He's right here, ready and waiting. See, Skrunk sprays through, knows that Mirbit's on site, takes him down. One-on-one from here. He can stick it with a smoke as well. Ensure that this man can't get it. Smoke up. Expecting a face here, hearing him coming out. Spray through, Skrunk's there. Mighty Max gets the headshot through the smoke. And there it is. The fuse coming through, Endpoint with another crucial clutch.
And another round for Endpoint, 7 in a row. Yes, it was only a half-by. Great clutch coming out from Mighty Max. Is able to pick up that AWP, recovers it over. The way he isolates those 2 kills to bait Mirbit into swinging from the default position, fakes that he's sticking the bomb. He expects him to peek out from bank, ends up going to the truck position, and Mighty Max reading the traces, knowing where he is. A great 1 versus 2. And I tell you what, Endpoint are looking damn dominant on this CT side at the moment.
Technical pause being called here. I would have thought this would have a situation. I thought a tactical pause would come out from Ultimate aTTaX, all things considered. I mean, they've been on the back foot for a little bit of time here. Endpoint. This is 7 rounds in a row. We had the pistol and conversions coming out from Ultimate aTTaX. Endpoint currently in dominating stance here with their CT side, and Ultimate aTTaX pick, you know, remember that much. Yes, it is a CT-sided map. Yes, Endpoint and Ultimate aTTaX have a good CT sides, very notable CT sides here on this map. For Ultimate aTTaX to be on the back foot here in the starting half of their pick, not a good sign.
No, it's not at all. And out of these 7 in a row that you just mentioned, Jay, they've only got 2 bomb plants. That is just not acceptable for a T side. It needs to be more. And you've got to think, they found success in the early round over towards the B bomb site in the first sort of 3-4 rounds of the game. Let's just go back to B. Let's go back to what works, especially these defaults around the A bomb site have not been successful. And even for Endpoint, I've got to be honest, they're not playing anything special, I want to say, on this CT side. They're not playing elaborate and aggressive on the CT side. It's very passive. It's very deep in the sides. They're reading the game incredibly well, rotating 3 players to the A bomb site whenever a hit comes through, and just establishing crossfires. It's simple Counter-Strike, and it's working.
No need to complicate things when Endpoint are doing this well. 1 more round to claim the half. Anything after that, well, it's going to be fantastic. We'll stack up towards what could be a very, very good map coming in from them. Past the first minute of this round, Ultimate aTTaX have taken damage, established map control, but again, Endpoint happy to play passive. The only time they've gotten aggressive is to go towards Monster once. Other than that, they've gone towards top mid, hoping to get some info and opening frag, and they've fallen back immediately because why bother? You know, why bother trying to engage them directly when you can go passive and still hold a great defensive? Smoke's coming down towards the B bomb site, trying to sell them on a B play, but the 3 CTs that are here on A think better of it. Utility coming through, which actually might confirm their suspicions, and Ultimate aTTaX last second rotating back through the connector door. Flashes over Max, and his teammate is going to be blind. That's Surreal there. Robin going to be the first to fall the AWP. Maybe gets Mighty Max. Surreal gets 1 frag, but no more than 1. Crucial and Thomas, last 2 players left. And well, the double fake working well for the aTTaX side.
Yeah, I think the reason for that is I don't honestly believe that that was intended for them to go to the B bomb site, but they had players that were quite aggressive around the bathrooms position. Now, even with that utility out to the B bomb site, no one was rotating out from bathrooms. So they hear the information to say, the A bomb site players aren't rotating. Let's just go B. They're not trying to, you know, they're not being baited by our fake. Let's commit with it. One thing when you got those smokes down, 18 seconds for a smoke to last. So if you throw it as a fake, you've still got a lot of time to rotate down and through connector and establish that B bomb site commitment. Much better from the attack side. Great flashbangs as well on the defenders at B.
Fourth to the board of alternate attacks in a moment. To remind you, of course, of our case partners in Hellcase. Of course, Malta V and Malta V15 are your codes to get yourselves some sick bonuses, some refill bonuses, some free money over on the Hellcase website. So the buys coming through from Endpoint will look a little bit limited here. FAMAS in M4s, the AWP of Crucial, and the AKs, AWP, and MAC-10 coming through from the T side of alternate attacks. Both economies are kind of busted up, both buys a little bit broken, but alternate attacks are not going to let that get to them. They've set themselves up for the hit already. The smoke's coming through, the flash is over. Blinding off the FAMAS here, Surreal with the smoke down. They've already got Scrunk on site, and he overwhelms one, runs right past the second, looks towards the third instead, but still Mighty Max holds on, and Cressy finally gets the trades. Crucial and Robin, last two players, they are out of dodge.
And honestly, I certainly have realized that the Germans have found what works for them. These quick site executions to B, they are running over the defenders. There were 3 players at that B bomb site of Mighty Max, Surreal, and Thomas, and they really weren't able to hold on. The utility came in so damn quick. That was one of the quickest rounds we've seen from alternate attacks outside of the pistol round. And, I mean, how the CTs don't even realize they're getting flanked around from that water position. There's just so much chaos with that much utility.
And again, just such a fast execution. Endpoint finally going to have to concede a good couple of rounds and possibly have to go to an eco off the back of the AK and the AAW, sorry, the M4 and the AWP, I should say. But a 5th for alternate attacks off the back of 7 in a row for Endpoint. This is finally the response we need from the German squad. And we probably should see an eco coming through from Endpoint again. With the lack of money, there'll be a lack of a buy. No drops from Robin or Crucial either, so. AKs, the AWP, standard stuff coming out from alternate attacks. They save most of those weapons coming in. And all backed up a Crucial Scrunk here with the AK. Quickly making their way to the long control here for alternate attacks.
And it's a gamble stack coming out from Endpoint. They've already actually pushed through short, so look at the rotations. They're now going A because Mighty Max has pushed aggressively through short, and he can go even further to try and get into T-spawn. There are going to be 4 players here at this A bomb site. This is the perfect read for Endpoint, and they've got an AWP and an M4 to work with.
Oh, look at the boost up. The AWP going to look for its first kill. And he sees the AWP, but the AWP of the T-side strikes. Don't know what that bomb is, so we're going to try to take some blind fire against the smokes here. Not going to get anything out for it. As it starts to clear, though, he sees one, unable to connect the frag. Damage being done to the T's, but no kills. Surreal, top of the dumpster box. They'll make their way in. Robin blind spraying with the M4, desperate to get something out of this. He's again tagging him up, not getting the frag. He does get strong. Cressy swings in. AWP's right there. Also dealt with. Thomas with the USP. Cressy comes up with 2. And Mighty Max with their Deagle now. Last player towards mid. Grabbing an AK. Another 1v3 clutch for the CT side. Bomb plant faked once AWP peeks in towards mid, and Max just does not see it. So alternate attacks now within 1 of the lead here.
And they're really bringing this back. We're finally seeing some, I want to say, not even confidence in Peaks, but they're gathering momentum, Jay. They're being able to win rounds in a row. They're looking a lot stronger. It seems like they've finally started to fire up. Even in just some of the crossfires are looking a lot sharper. And you go into round 14, Crucial has been so damn impactful with the AWP. They don't even have enough money to upgrade. It's just going to be M4s across the board for Endpoint. And not a great amount of utility either. No kits, too. Yeah, the Endpoint side have really been worn down in the last few rounds.
Boost up from the AKs here, looking on towards short. Meanwhile, a boost coming in from the CT side. Oh, how fun! Oh, Robin! That could have gotten real dicey. Nade on towards Skronk, and will do damage to Cressy as well. Seen the bomb as well. He knows he's in connector. Is he ready for the boost up? No, he's not. And Cressy will open things up. Look towards Mighty Max. Sees him, sprays through the wall to do damage. And Thomas is here on the boost. Not going to move from it, though. Not going to try to take the challenge on alternate attacks.
Oh, he's heard the footsteps, so he could find so much. Oh, the timing, he doesn't know which way to check. And unfortunately, Stefan gets the better of two players. And you've got a thing for Endpoint. Save, right? Mighty Max and Cyril. I'm surprised they're even trying to go for this.
Look at how quickly Max makes his way through the Molotov. Takes down one, lines up a spray to the second, but doesn't get the kill for it. So Cyril's left alone. 1-on-4 scenario. Smokes up. Stefan not seen. No one's seen as a backstab also coming in from Cressy. So at the moment Cyril makes his way back to the B-bomb site, he's basically a dead man. 7-all now. A great CT start from Endpoint, and what could have been a 12-3 half may still go 8-7. In fact, it will go 8-7. The question is, whose favor will it favor? Endpoint or alternate attacks? Seems like it's probably going to be alternate attacks here, with the buy being awkward from Endpoint here. The Molotov's in, so really the smoke going to peek out for it. Does get one exit frag. Just barely staying alive against the two players around this corner, though. Indeed, Stefan takes him down. There it is, all fire weapons taken out. Hard buyback from the CT side.
Now, I've got a gut feeling that they didn't realize that that was the last round. I mean, honestly, for me, it makes absolutely no sense why Mighty Max and Cyril are trying to go for that, unless they think it's the last round. Because you have a look, it's a 2v5, they really can't do anything. Even if they take everyone down, there's still going to be enough money for alternate attacks to buy into the next round. It must have been some miscommunication there, because even the split and how far Cyril and Mighty Max were to one another, and going into even the last round of the half, they could have certainly backed up by a couple of M4s.
Well, Stefan with two quick picks here out in the mid-challenge. Endpoint trying to fight fire with fire, and unfortunately, everyone just gets burned. Mighty Max and Cyril, last two players left. And this is going to be an 8 for alternate attacks to reclaim the lead here at the turn of their T-side half. It's such a difficult affair for them at the first place. The fact that they've been able to make this much out of it in the last few rounds, and confidently so as well. The predicament now for Endpoint here on the back foot for their opponent's map pick.
And Endpoint were up, what, 7-3 at one point? So this is a really great recovery coming out from alternate attacks. I really hope they check this angle, because this can often be a pretty cheeky angle on the city side. And, well, Mighty Max, he's alone at B, so even if he has a pretty good hold, this round's pretty much all but over. And, well, they check it straight away.
Now 1-on-5 for Cyril. Let's see if he can do something incredible here. This would be virtually impossible. Nade is going to go towards water, not towards the default position. If he was able to do that, he could have actually taken out the bomb planter there. Two players on low HP. Didn't he would have done his job.
They keep coming.
So he's going to have to force him out in the open. He burns alive in the end, so 8-7 for alternate attacks. Again, T-side going just about well enough. And Endpoint, I mean, I kind of feel a little bit like the wind's been taken out of their sails. Looked really good right up until the, was it the 11th round, 10th round or so?
Yeah, well, that's certainly the thing, is it's for Endpoint, once they stopped being able to get presence out towards A, it kind of seemed like it all fell apart. I mean, it was Crucial and Robin that were having some really great defensive holds around that bathrooms position, but for most of the rounds after that streak from Endpoint, it was over towards B, so really Crucial couldn't get involved in the action, and that's what led to some confidence players coming out for the T side, taking the lead going into the second half. And I'll tell you what, it's a good recovery from alternate attacks.
Well, loot bet odds still showing for Forza versus Endpoint.
I'm guessing that's a 1.33 for the alternate attack side, because that would make a lot of sense. Too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Endpoint are going to try to change those odds back by getting the B bomb set. And again, click the banner below the Twitch channel if you want to get involved with our Malta Vibes tournament and get some bets on skins. Skins betting is not allowed, excuse me. Main money betting, I should say. Skins is Hellcase, let's see if I can get that right. Mighty Max will get that right on Mirbit, though, opening up the frag numbers here for the T side. Robin backed up at T ramp, hoping to see T start pushing forward here, and Thomas will shut down Scrunk from Graffiti. 2 players left standing. 1 kill comes back for Cressy, but he's not long for this world. Slacks left alone, 1 versus 4. And yeah, they're going to pressure him around that corner. Endpoint, a better start here on the T side.
What I love in that round from Endpoint, Jays, is the fact that not only do they overwhelm the defenders, the anchors at the B bomb site, but they actually push aggressively. We saw Thomas getting very close to that right side Graffiti position, trying to see if he can catch off the rotators from the A bomb site. And for Endpoint, well, that's a pistol round that, well, they weren't able to score at least the first pistol round of the game. That went the way of the attack side. So 1-for-1 split in terms of pistols at the moment. Bit of a different approach, though. We saw alternate attacks going for, what, 2 AKs and 3 MAC-10s in that secondary round. This time around, it's a lot more focused on rifles, and, well, that's not the best of starts for Endpoint.
What a hell of a way to respond for alternate attacks, obviously. Losing control of that pistol round, a sheer dominating force just storms down the B bomb site, and then out of the default, the scout gets the first kill on the headshot, so...
Not a bad start, is it?
4. Yep, still 5 on 4 with a little over a minute to go. Endpoint are playing very slowly around this default.
Yeah, they are actually really slow at the moment. They haven't really got that much map presence, especially, well, they haven't been able to aggress out through short. And for alternate attacks' sake, they've got Cressy out in connector, and he could be on a really big backstab play.
Smoke set here to the A bomb site. Again, it Slacks with the scout out, looking to get another good headshot in if he can do that. All the defensive for the entire CT side. Missed smoke. Oh no, SMG coming in from the back line as well. That actually covers them off. They get away for it, but not for long as they peek out in towards the bomb site. The SMG can strike. The Deagle back in for Scrunk, drops 1. Robin can trade it. Bomb picked up by Mighty Max. Needs to go for a default plant or on the truck position. Cressy gets Robin down. 2 players left. They're running out of time and they're running out of HP. So low, single digits for both players. Deagle up. Stefan cannot get Mighty Max. The AK swings, does damage, taps to the kill, and a 1 versus 1 with 1 HP, but Max evades every bullet of the CT side and just claims the round for Endpoint.
What? Hell, there was so much spam into the into the bomb planter of Mighty Max. Stefan, he just needed 1 bullet. I can't believe Mighty Max wins that. That's 1 HP, man. Oh my goodness, that's so big. And I can imagine the comms are just hyped again. And Endpoint, they use a tactical, Jay. They've listened to us.
Now they're the ones letting alternate attacks stew.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's such a big clutch. And for alternate attacks, they've got to be gutted. That was, what, a 4 versus 2 at one point?
Yeah, it was. The trades ended up that way, and those 2 players were on, like, again, single digits of HP, so those 2 kills could have been so easy for the alternate attack side. All the spam, all the bullets, none of them connecting. Now here with the MAC-10s, they're going to reforce the buy, though. Alternate attacks know how close they brought that round, so they're going to try it once again. SMG, scouts in, Scrunk, I don't know what he's got, probably a Deagle. 3 MP9s in for Mirbit, Stefan, and Cressy here. And that was the short control. Again, Endpoint are going to play this carefully, suspecting that alternate attacks may be up for another force up.
It certainly would be difficult to read. You really wouldn't expect the CT side to go for the force, but as soon as they make contact on the first player, they'll know. 100% they'll know that it's a force. And at least early round, they're having a 4-man stack. Scrunk might rotate to heaven or over to the A bomb site, so they're going to at least have a little bit less manpower at that B bomb site. But Endpoint, it looks like it's just going to be a straight commitment. They don't have many lurkers at the moment. This should just be a B bomb site hit.
Straight up and out, 3 players here to defend against it. Reflash from Stefan, going to peek round the corner. Crucial gets him blind anyway. SMG on site. Mirbit's got so many T's to deal with. And Cressy will find 1 Molotov kill. He's not going to last much longer. Scrunk here with the Molotov forcing him back into the Graffiti position. Flax on his way back in with a scout. 2 versus 4, now making it 1 versus 4, and the scout just better to get safe at this point. Forced out from alternate attacks, they're going to need something to go into the next round with.
Okay, Endpoint. Now, they're in the lead, right? Obviously. They're getting to double digits, but the thing that is still in the back of my mind, Jay, is that we saw a really great streak of rounds from them in that first half, but when the momentum goes sour, when it goes the opposite way, that's when it might fall apart for Endpoint. So they need to be making sure that they're clawing these rounds. Considering it was a forced buy in the last from alternate attacks, we can't see another buy investment. It's upgrades at most. Maybe a couple of pistols, a little bit of utility, but not a lot for the Germans.
Ties do turn back to the favor of Endpoint. Well, it remains so here. AK is out on 3 players against 2 SMGs. They've been struggling with the economy because of how much damage alternate attacks have done in these rounds. We'll start to build from here. To get a decent amount of a buffer, though, to try and dive back into, so help them. Aggression in from Skrunk here towards the long control, but other than that, it's a stack into the B-bomb site. Alternate attacks. Just try and receive Endpoint and overwhelm them with the numbers game.
Pretty slow and passive stuff coming out from both T sides. We haven't really seen too many quick executions, at least in trying to get some map control. They're just trying to bait Skrunk out. They've got a gut feeling that someone's got to be close around long. Ooh, look at that little hole that Robin's trying to work with. And you know what? That, you know, maybe he shouldn't have been looking through there.
Here's the price. Again, it's only an SMG drop, so it's not too terrible right now for the T side. But with more kills coming into Strong, Mighty Max does find the trade, though. 4 versus 3, but Endpoint have taken severe damage, and now Cressy's moving in the backlines. Alternate attacks have got this SMG, and he's going to continue pressing forward. He knows they're all held out towards long, so it comes up to a case of timing and stalling here. UMP also on the floor. Deagle out, player spotted. He can't get the kill, but he's going to call it in. Full stack here to the A-bomb site. Cressy still looking onwards here, spots them. Headshot not connecting, doing damage, but he does get that kill. Mighty Max falls, and Crucial's left alone. This was a full eco for all intents and purposes. The bomb dropped in the open, smoked out to try by a bit of bomb plant covering room here, but they know where he is. Crucial damage up, tagged beyond belief, and Stefan will close out the round.
And, well, that's the Endpoint we know, the one that loses to ecos. I mean, that was just a sloppy round, you know, unfortunately. They just took some one-on-one angels. There wasn't even the support, right? You know, when Robbins tries to get out from connector, you know, there was no flashbang to kind of go for a peek or open up the connector door. We saw, I think it was Surreal that went down to the Deagle out from Skrunk quite aggressively. And you just think for Endpoint, you know, we know that they lose to rounds like that, but it's something that they really need to work on because it's their biggest weakness at the moment.
I'm pretty sure it's down to, like, overconfidence. Like, that's what's causing it for me in Endpoint. Look at how fast and loose they play that, you know, with the aggression out towards long, the aggression into the squeak door, that peeking through that little hole that they made. Expecting that, yeah, we should win this round because it's an eco, right? Well, not to be. Crucial, though. Landing some 6 shots regardless on Skrunk, kicking things off. The T's look like they want to lean towards the B bomb site.
And that's a great opening coming out from the AWP of the T side. And now for attacks, they've got to make an option here. You either gamble stack the B bomb site, you gamble stack the A bomb site, and it looks like they're going to gamble B. Oh, can Crucial get another kill? Look at this position. He's going to get spammed down. So he went for something very advantageous, and he pays the price for it.
Mighty Max to creep in against Stephanie, who's got the bomb on his back. The M4 does turn around in the end. Back's turn, counter flashing in, takes down 1. That's the bomb being dropped by 7 against Robin. Knows exactly where he is. Gets us to 2 versus 4, and alternate attacks. A great defensive held here on the B bomb side. Backups on the way there because they have the bomb, they have the round, they have the 10th on the CT side.
And Thomas can't even rotate up with the bomb to try and back up Surreal over at that A bomb site because, like you said, you know, the bomb's just dropped in the open there. Let's see what they can find. I can't even believe that Slacks turns around. What is it so far in this best of 3 and the previous one? We've just had timings where players have been checking behind them in positions that you would almost never expect someone to be.
couldn't tell you, mate. I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah, no one can.
10 all, and the ecos coming through from Endpoint, they have no choice but to go for this. They've had patches of great success and in patches where they just don't seem to be able to play against alternate attacks. And again, I'm thinking part of it is overconfidence there. They got that first pick on Crucial, thought they could overextend a bit more, and then they lost the round from there. Also push Crucial into Connector with the bomb on its lonesome. Now, if they'd gone for a rush out Connector and tried to get the bomb plant on B, sure, but now it's in CT hands. So once again, this round should be all over. And Endpoint, they need to try and charge into this position and try and concede their lives.
That's a little bit of a strange round coming out from Endpoint, and the fact that that bomb's just given up into complete CT control. Yeah, you've only got the Glocks to work with, but I mean, just mistakes that don't need to be made. And, well, this is going to be the lead going the way of the German side on their own map pick of Overpass. We certainly have seen some relatively scary signs from Endpoint, but for the majority of these rounds, you'd have to say that the attack side are looking in control, Jay.
Well, 1 kill for Surreal will be the best that they can get out of it, but 11 on the board for alternate attacks now in the lead here against Endpoint on their map pick, and appropriately so. They've been hunting for this for a while now. The rebuy got to come through from the AWP and the AKs. Lack of Kevlar again on Crucial. Glass cannon for the T side. And some of the elements of this T side that, you know, usually you expect to be very loud have been a little bit quiet in this map up. Thomas in particular, 7 kills for the man.
Yeah.
Not having a great game at this moment. Endpoint are just barely hanging in there by a thread as a result. They need a good round coming out. This Mighty Max didn't see the player jumping up at the boost spot. They're going to set the utility up for the stacking. I believe that's to the toxic area. No, that's actually towards the T-ramp. But Thomas taking an 8 to the face of his own right. 18 HP to start.
Yeah, so much damage going the way of the Endpoint side off the back of just utility alone. And I'm looking at this round in terms of utility, and I'm thinking, right, what's the play here from Endpoint? Now, on a map like Overpass, you need a lot of utility on the T side to gain that map control, to be very slow, to try and force the CTs back. Now, at this point, it's probably just going to be a lot of dry peaks. Leave that single lurker Robert over towards the B bomb side, use the utility out towards A, and set yourselves up for at least a bomb plant. But even still, they don't have a lot of util to work with.
NWP scope down to that mid position. The smokes on. The flashes over from Slacks to ensure that no hit comes through. 40 seconds to said hit, and Thomas with the AK. Ready and raring to go, but he's on 18 HP. The best he can do is lurk out here, still doing a ton of damage to Slacks. The AWP will pick up that frag, and still the stack is in here to the B bomb site. 25 seconds for Endpoint to go. Incendiary is up, further flashes over, reflashes coming back from the T side RC. Headshot angle taken by Mirbit, he drops that bomb first. Refaces for a double. Stephanie, it's Mighty Max! And Mirbit lines up 3 kills all in all on the B side defensive, and alternate attacks do not blink at the sign of a fake.
Well, unfortunately, because they've got a lack of utility, they haven't been able to bait out any at that B bomb site. Now, if Thomas would have got a kill over towards A, then maybe that could have forced a bit of a rotation out from the B bomb site, but they walk into that, and there's just so much counter utility. There's the Incendiary down towards Molotov, the HGs and the flashes, and well, Endpoint, they just need to keep running through it. They've got no choice. They've so little on time. And, well, alternate attacks, I tell you what, Jay, these last few rounds, they really have looked unstoppable. This is 4 in a row for them.
Slacks and Cressy, 2 simple picks. Against the eco here of Endpoint. Deagle's up to try to do some damage, potentially get a headshot, potentially get some rifles away from the CT camp, but this is not going to be a round that Endpoint can win, and at this late stage in the game, they need to get some good rounds on the board. They'll be buying up for a must-win round. After that, well, who knows where it goes from there.
And I suppose that's a big statement over the course of this best of 3. It's like, who knows? You know, we've talked about it in the pre-game, how close both these teams are to one another. At least from what I've seen from Overpass, it seems like for Endpoint, when they've got momentum, they're unstoppable. But as soon as they lose it, as soon as they lose that streak, then they struggle to find an answer. They struggle to find an opening pick. They often rely on Crucial a little bit too much to find an opening pick. And, well, these last few rounds have just looked so damn deadly for the Germans. Good shot coming out from Crucial, but it's only one and it's only an eco. If they can get a bomb plant, then they can be happy, but even that's probably an impossible task. And 13 to 10, it's only going to be 3 more rounds for the attack side, and they'll be able to take us to a second of train.
Three rounds in deficit, Endpoint. Another buyback to try and do something here against alternate attacks. The AK's coming in on 3 of the CTs. They have plenty of firepower to work with. Scope up from Slack, so look for that first kill. Not going to go his way, unfortunately, but these have crossed out, getting their map control on the contrary. Press is still in connect to the door's been opened up with a nade, seeing where Robin is and takes him down. Crucial just finds Slacks to open things, and Thomas is ready to take this player out, going to go for a very aggressive challenge. See him spray, and turn a 2-for-1 to the favor of the T side.
The CTs have actually pushed aggressively. There's no way Thomas expects this, and this should be a 3-on-3. Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, though, the information's kind of gone both ways, and Scrunk, oh, he's heard Mighty Max. He could drop the bomb. He could drop the bomb. This could be all over from Scrunk.
See in the shadows, see the shoulder bay, and Max goes falling down. Still in the minute to recover. Surreal's going to try and make his way into the mid position and catch this player off. They've got a player also at Dumpster and Bank to try and deal with. He'll start pushing in. Surreal going to challenge here against Scrunk. Spray comes through. Crucial missing his AWP shot, but the spray from Scrunk is so thrown. 2-on-2 now. Alternate attacks. AKs on both of the CTs that remain an Endpoint. But AWP of Crucial to try and enter something. Find anything here towards the A bomb site. They'll smoke down Bank. They might be able to get a bomb plant from here.
There's a little bit of counter utility from Stefan, but he's so far away. He's over at the B bomb site. And Merbert's alone at A, in towards that Bank position. The smokes are fantastic. That's going to allow a bomb plant to come out from Endpoint. Where do they reposition themselves? Do they try and get aggressive, or do they play passive? It looks like it's going to be the passive approach. Surreal playing around this trap position, while for the AWPer, he's taking a little bit more of a step back, a bit more of a passive angle for Crucial.
Nade on, sitting there in full Surreal out position. He'll spray through, try to take the player down. Mirbit will drop him. All left to Crucial now. That bomb can't be accessed by him here. He's got to take the face around the corner. I think Mirbit may have spotted him. He jumped face. We've definitely seen him now. Crucial knows. Watch up, scope in. But Stefan swings out, gets that frag instead. Alternate attacks, 14 to 10. Endpoint letting their advantages slip so far out of their grasp. They may let this first map go to the favor of their opposition.
It looks like that's going to be the case, honestly, Jay. It's really been a bit of a rough time, to say the least, for Endpoint after going up 7-3. Yeah, they got off to a great start in the second half with the pistol round conversion and that 3-0 start on the T side. But outside of that, they've really not been able to find too much success. That was their first bomb plan in the streak of rounds that we've seen from aTTaX of 6 in a row. 14 to 10. Can they at least deny the map point from coming through immediately?
Damage done against Endpoint again. Not a great start. It isn't a kill. Isn't a man advantage. It isn't map control for alternate attacks, but it is trying to force back the likes of Mighty Max. But Thomas is the man to open things up here. Stefan to fall. The Mighty Max are looking for a bit more out of this one. Seeing Mirbit, but Mirbit drops the man. So 4 versus 4 once again. Alternate attacks maintaining control. He is very low on that CT face though.
That's a great response coming out from Mirbit. Oh, the boost, and Robin's ready for it. How does Mirbit win out that fight? He's so damn low. And with Cressy getting aggressive out through Monster, that might give him a little bit of information over to this B bomb site that it's pretty much clear. Oh my goodness. I can't believe they even boosted. They boost a low HP player up too.
.40 seconds left. Alternate attack still with the advantage. Black's watching with the AWP, ready for them to make their way out from the mid position. The shot does not connect to Surreal. He'll reface, and Surreal will take him down. Very little damage done to the man. Scrunk now focused here on the truck position, backed up here, ready for Surreal to make his way up, spray through. It's going to go awkward. Surreal gets 2 kills. And Mirbit first responder to the scene. He'll do some damage, but again, nothing going against Endpoint here as the plant comes through. And the clock starts ticking for the retake here for alternate attacks. Mirbit can't strike. Cressy has to move forward, but back here from mid, he's mostly waiting for someone to aggress back from that mid position so we can get us to an even standing on the man advantage. And as Mirbit falls out, I feel like Cressy is going to be quick to follow suit.
And the best thing they can do is just try and look for some exit kills. They've got so much money in their own bank that they're not really too worried if they go down, but at least if they take team members with them, it's at least damaging the economy from Endpoint. Mirbit holding on to that AK, bringing it into the following round. 11 up for Endpoint. And it almost seemed like for alternate attacks, I don't want to say they took their foot off the pedal, but for Slacks to get that aggressive with any kind of support, as soon as he misses that shot and gets taken down, that's the advantage that Endpoint capitalize on.
Well, now within 3 once again of the lead here. Endpoint can still deny, of course, as you mentioned, the map point coming through from alternate attacks. Thomas is taking that face out. Mirbit's seen him. He knows what's coming. Short control. At least one player, potentially two. It's Surreal making his way out. Flashbang catches both the CTs perfectly played, but they can't find them. And Stefan and Mirbit line up 2 kills, making it 4 before Crucial finds a trade. Another clutch for the AWPer. He did a 1 versus 4 earlier in the game. But this will be a 1 versus 5 for him instead. And the CTs are crawling all up and down the shot. This should not end up being his game. This should not end up being his round. He's flashed out, known to the CT positions. Re-smoke's coming in. He's got a bit of cover to work with, but the bomb's been dropped on the bomb site, and it's just virtually impossible.
Yeah, it really is. And that was relatively a dry run coming out from Endpoint. It was only a couple of flashes to get them in. And the problem with that is, well, actually, let's just see if he clutches out. No, he doesn't. The problem with that, Jay, is that if you just go for like a bit of a dry execution where you're only using a couple of flashes, if you don't get those entries within the first 2 or 3 seconds, you can get shut down so quickly. And for Endpoint, they tried to clear out the site, but they weren't able to find those entries. They weren't able to get those trade kills through. And it was just a shutdown. Crucial was forced into a clutch situation where he'd never be able to win that out. And for alternate attacks, well, they found their map point.
4 more for Endpoint to try and get to overtime. Alternate attacks, though. Really awkward position. Endpoint have had a bit of a habit so far today, of course, taking us to these overtimes. And again, they had this down to an overtime in the last time they played an overpass. And they find the strength inside to turn this over to a 15 all. So far, it is a 2-for-1 trade as Mighty Max and Crucial get involved in the kill. Slacks finds 1 trade back on the AWPer of the T side. But again, man advantage for Endpoint. Alternate attacks looking for a way to turn us back to evens. The aggression from Stefan could be the way in, or it could be Mighty Max's chance to punish.
Oh, there's no way that Surreal gets expected. Yeah, crosses over without the AWP of Slacks realizing his position. And, well, Mirbit, he has to just try and go for the save. It's a 1-on-3. There's no real chance he can go for it. This is going to be another round up for Endpoint. Now, they will be playing for OT on this map, but you've got to look at the money line. You think, okay, it's pretty strong, but there is always a possibility that Endpoint, with a couple of rounds in a row, can reset that money line.
Money's still going to be good for alternate attacks to buy up here, obviously. So,
yeah,
ideally, something that should come through in the next round. But 12 to the board of Endpoint for the moment here. They will have an opportunity. Alternate attacks want to try and turn this over the finish line. The ideal way to do so is to do it right here in this next round. Of course, the AK for Mirbit will be a little bit of a bonus to what will already be defined by the extra firepower and everything. Orbs dropped over to Slacks here as the M4s get brought in with the defuse kits. A little bit lopsided on several players, but down to the hundreds. Therefore, alternate attacks should be up for an eco in the next round if they can't win it here.
And let's see what Endpoint can bring to the table. You're certainly right. Thomas is having a very quiet game at the moment. He's certainly not fragging to his normal or average abilities, I would say. They're finding a bit of confidence. Divider and Bathroom Smoke coming out for the tees. They're getting very quick map control, not slowing down for anything until they get to these smokes. And at least in early round for the Germans, it was a gamble stack over to B.
We'll take back to more passive positions and standard positions here from the CT side. There's still 3 players on B at the moment. Slacks or shot ringing out. Can he find Surreal? Yes, he can. Mighty Max right around the corner with the bomb. A risky peek, but one that works out. 4 versus 4 for the 60-second play, and alternate aTTaX better be ready for the A site because once again, Endpoint are leaning towards it.
And that swing that comes out from Mighty Max with the bomb, first of all, it's risky that that bomb doesn't get dropped. And secondly, it gives the information up to the alternate attack side that the bomb was lurking around the A bomb site. And that's why they're going to rotate Stefan up. So there's going to be 3 players here from the CT side to defend this A bomb site once the execution comes through.
Cressy and Scrung jump facing, looking to see the T-side player. The smokes will come in. Scrung sees it coming, nades back to do some damage, and it does a little bit to Robin, but not much. He burns alive, and Thomas will take him down. CT's back out. Cressy out of the smoke. We'll see Thomas, but Thomas still wins the fight on 7 HP, staying alive. Bomb trying to be secured here. Stefan will get that trade back in the back line. Take the second frag as well. Now we stand at 2 versus 2 here. Smoke's coming in. Mighty Max going to keep his eyes on. He doesn't see the player at Dumpster. Backed up here, maybe in the back line. Is going to come through with a backstab. Is Max ready for this? Yes, he is, and he wins the fight. Stefan on 6 HP. Can't win this round now. No smoke, no kit. Even then, the blind spray should be able to take him down as Robin secures his frag in the round, and we stay alive for Endpoints.
And you'd think that we'd now be going to round number 30, Jay, because one thing you mentioned in that last round is that, well, they're going to have to eco if they lost, and, well, that's exactly what's happened. They don't have enough money to go for the buy investment, so this should realistically be Endpoint up to 14. Now, one thing to keep in mind for all the viewers at home, how many times we've seen Endpoint lose these eco rounds. Now, it's not a massive eco, it's only a few upgrades, but we've seen how damaging these rounds can be.
Good shot from Crucial. Good start against Slacks. Cressy going to be known here, the Molotov. Actually going to go extend. No, it goes so far as to catch him off, so now you know where he is. Nay doesn't quite land as confidently this time, though, so 3-man boost coming in from alternate aTTaX, ready for the short control. Meerbit will not catch anything, though. Endpoint will not play towards short so quickly this time around. The connector control conceded they can't hear any information of the CET players that are making their way out into the map control stances. Robin could get isolated and overwhelmed here. Door does open up as Robin takes out 1, sees 2, knows that there's another player in connector, so that's 3 players they can deal with, and indeed they deal with them all. Stefan, last man standing in the 1-on-5. As soon as Crucial sees this, he'll take his shot, he'll fall back, and Endpoint will know where to go.
And lovely, absolutely lovely. I mean, that's one of the first times we've really seen a confidence round against an eco. Yes, they give up an AK for Stefan if he's able to hold on to it, but all in all, they haven't lost too many players. They really haven't lost too much in this round, so very impressive coming out from Endpoint. Very slow, very methodical, waiting for the CTs to over-aggress. Well, here we go, round number 30. We have seen it quite a lot over the stages of week 2 of Malta Vibes, whether it's been in through the group stage or out through the playoffs. Round 30s and OTs, it seems like it's a match made in heaven.
Max right around this corner against Stefan. Oh! Ooh. I thought he was done, but apparently not. Too. Staying alive just about. Taking another face. Surely he won't get this next kill, right? Like, he's solo HP. The aim punch is going to hurt him. He's got to stay behind the rock to stay alive, and he will be able to do so. But how close he was to getting 3 casualties on that T side is something else. But Endpoint will get their way up to 14. Alternate aTTaX, 1 final buy to try and get us past the map point. But for round 30, Endpoint on for overtime points. And of course, the AK save will provide extra firepower to what would otherwise been a buy up here. Let's see if Endpoint can complete the comeback.
30 kills up for Stefan on this CT side, doing so much work, but it all really comes down to round number 30, whether it will be enough. pretty passive stuff to actually start things off, considering the incendiary came out, or from the CT side, they don't actually try and push up aggressively. And we saw Endpoint a lot of the time on their CT side playing that duo setup around with Robin and Crucial around that bathrooms and banana position. This time around, it's actually the setup out towards long of establishing a crossfire with the AWP from Slacks.
Much more passive from alternate attacks. But the AWP strikes first. Slacks takes out Surreal. Opening up this round, going to get their way out towards the mid position. The AK is ready to respond towards him. The flashbang comes forward. He sees the man, but doesn't get the kill. Crucial responds with a frag of his own right. Scrunk can get Mighty Max 4 versus 3 now. Alternate attacks holding the man advantage. Still with a chance, but Crucial gets himself a 2K. Back to evens we go. Thomas challenging Long, knows that there's CT presence out here. Robin gets Cressy as he makes his way away from Long. And now it's all left to Stefan and Mirbit on rotation. One coming out of bank right now. And Endpoint, are they going to rotate back to the B bomb site?
They've got options. I mean, they certainly can do if they want to, and it looks like they're probably not going to. No, they're running out of time here. They need to commit to A, and they need to get this utility up. They only need to deal one player on the side, but it's Stefan, and he's got 30 kills.
He's waiting and baiting. 15 seconds to the clock. Flashes over, catching him blind. They don't know where he is just yet. Thomas rounds the corner, gets taken out. Robin there with the bomb plants, and that should be enough. 6 seconds. Crucial will take out Stefan, but all Mirbit has to do is stay alive. Oh, too aggressive from the T side. And alternate attacks do turn a 16-14 on their map pick. Overpass goes the way of the German core.